Okay, so that was really cheesy, but anyways, I just wanted that. I wanted a really good or interesting opening to my video. So this is going to be a review and slash recommendation for the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Now, Sam, this is kind of for you, and it's inspired. I just thought, well, Sam, did his review for Nightmare on Elm Street, then why not, I do it too, except of course a little differently. I'm definitely not going to make it a facsimile of how he did his, and so yeah, because I really love the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Even though it's little, I mean those. I also watched and liked the Halloween and Friday the 13th series, but yeah, there's something about Nightmare on Elm Street just really got to me. But yeah, so okay, the first one, I had two copies just because this is like the first big copy they had, and then they came out special edition, which is really cool, because they you get the interviews from the people who worked on the original, including some of the stars like Heather Langenkamp and then Wes Craven, the director. He's just amazing. But sorry, I'm just a little tired today. Anyways, so the first one is where there's Freddy Krueger, a really he was a child killer, really dark, demented man. He gets killed by the parents of the dead kids, and they burn him to death. That's how they kill him. Then it's years and years later, and he's like a ghost, and but he comes in dreams, and he kills teenagers. That's his way of taking revenge of the people who killed him, and so that's for the first one's about. And I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna say the outline and not really get specific about the characters of the series, or at least I'm not gonna try to really. And so the first one, it's definitely a good slasher flick and it has really good effects for like an 80s movie. Because of course for my generation today, we have CGI and just amazing special effects, but for like a 1984 movie that's a horror film and it's got some cool stuff, it's got decent special effects. Now number two, where people this one a lot, and that's the thing with the series, people didn't like the ones after number one so much, or they always liked number number one, three, and seven, but I like all of them. I love all of them. So number two, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. That's the title. This is about a boy who moved into the house that was in the first film. It's taken 5 years. It takes place 5 years after the events in the first film, and the boy that is a teenager, and the Freddy is possessing his body and making it seem like he's a killer, a murderer, and yeah, that's where it gets psychological in the plot. And yeah, that one's definitely, to me, because again I like it. It's a decent sequel, and I mean it's way way different because none I don't except Freddy. There's not one character who's in the second one. Like for Halloween 1 and 2, there's Tim Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance and Charles Cyphers, but they don't do that with Nightmare on Elm Street, not really. And then number three is where they brought the Nancy character back and have this other center character who creatively and artistically makes this house. That's one aspect I really liked in the movie, is how she made the house that are in the last two movies. And Freddy is just basically killing off these kids one by one. They're the last of the Elm Street kids in this asylum that they're all in because they're having Freddy problems, basically. But of course, the adults don't believe them. Number four, were called Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. It's where this one is like I think the most dark film in the series. I mean, in number three, Freddy starts to be funny, and that's what another thing people don't really like about Freddy. And what Wes Craven himself didn't really like how they did that. But yeah, so number four is the three survivors of the first film in this one, and then there's another. They bring in another character to really get you through the film named Alice, and that's a good character. Um, but yeah, so and then another thing I really like about number four, the fact that it's like really kind of dark and it's it's entertaining like all of them. I like the music score and especially the main song for the movie called "I Want Your Hands on Me." It sounds kind of wrong, but it's by Sinead O'Connor. It's an '80s song, and there's one or two versions of the song, and one of them is with her and MC Light, and that's the one I really like. And it's just a good song. It's like soothing to me. But so yeah, that's number four. And now number 5, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Childs, and this is where Alice from the last movie, she's still a teenager. She just graduated from high school. She is pregnant actually, and Freddy is using her baby's dreams to get to Alice's new friends because her other ones, died in the last movie. So he's getting to her new friends one by one by using her baby's dreams, and the fact that he's also trying to make her baby like him, and Alice is trying to stop that. Um, and yeah, that one's good. I mean, that one's like I think maybe one of the most funny ones. It's not like I don't know. It's not really like scary, but it's like my taste and it's something I like. So that's my recommendation for number 5. And now the 6th one, which really took a big leap from the other ones. It's not just Freddy. Just I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you watch it, you'll know what I mean. It's a little different, a lot. And this time, Freddy as a kid, apparently, even though he was a child killer himself. And the mystery is, who is it? And this one has like a small body count, but I mean, it doesn't really matter to me though. But he does manage to still kill some teens, and they were getting under his kid. And this one also was in 3D when it was released, and I'm only 15, so the movie's like, this is 1 or 2 years older than me, so in the early 90s. So, but I, of course, just saw it, I rented it, and then I bought it. And so that's number 6. And that one I think is good just because you get around to Freddy's life a little more. And, the fact that he's a kid, that's another big part you find out about him. Now, the 7th one, which really took a big psychological turn. To me, it's like, I don't really consider this a slasher, even though you do have, that's what people call it, but I consider it like the psychological one of the series. And this has people mostly like Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, and even Wes Craven in this movie as themselves. Wes Craven directed this movie, but this is more like, I mean, this is one I kind of least liked when I was younger. I'm starting to like it more as I'm older. But this is basically like, so Heather, even though she did in the first movie, life wasn't too great for her. She has a kid, and like a lovely kid and a lovely husband. But Freddy is like starting to get in her mind, and he's like, they're trying to figure out, is he like in real life? Is he coming into the real world? It's not just a movie. So hopefully, I mean, I know probably coming from me does not make sense, but just watch the movie, watch the whole series actually, but just for that one, just watch it and try and fathom it. And that one's definitely, it's like, I don't know, I think it's interesting how they made it more psychological, not just every 10 minutes someone's dying. So yeah, and so that's number 7. And that was made like I think when I was like 1 years old, the year I turned 1. And now the final, Freddy versus Jason. So this is one of the best. Oh no, never mind. I'm not gonna say that, but this is definitely like another one that everyone thought was best in the series, and it's really cool because it's half and half of part of the Friday the 13th series and the Nightmare on Elm Street series. But it is called Freddy vs. Jason, but to me it's more of a Freddy movie because even the plot is more about Freddy. It's about Freddy's in hell. He's finally dead and gone from nightmares, and he needs Jason to bring him back so Freddy can come back and kill again in dreams because he needs people to remember him and be scared. And so then you got these teens, like kind of the type from each movie, each previous films of the series of Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and you see them, and then finally for the end they go head to head, for a battle, and it's really good, awesome. It was made 2003 for my generation, and that's all I'm gonna give. That's all I have time for. Hopefully you like that review.